all child deaths, whatever the circumstances, undergo a multi-agency review by a child death overview panel, and that information is reported to the National Child Mortality Database, and there is a monthly exercise by NHS officials to check the waiting list against NHS records. So we do monitor this very closely, and the mental health and well-being of this particular cohort of children and young people is both very close to my heart and very close to my gaze.
Jim Allister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I certainly welcome the Secretary of State's extension of the ban on the prescription puberty blockers. I want to ask him, though, has he more information for us on the criteria which will apply for entry into the clinical trials? Will there, for example, be a minimum age? Will there be parental consent required? Because both those things seem to me to be very important. Can we have assurance on those 2 points?
I'm very grateful to the honourable member for his questions. The details of the trial are still being worked through. They will be subject and are subject to a robust ethical approvals process. And only once final ethical approval is granted is the final study design set in stone. As such, I can't comment on the finer details at this time, but just to reassure the honourable member that the issues that he raises are very much under consideration in relation to the design of the trial.
Carla Denyer.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I share the concerns expressed by experts at the Council of Europe that removing access to puberty blockers except through clinical trials may breach the fundamental ethical principles governing research, amounting to coercion and therefore a breach of young people's human rights. Exactly how harmful this decision is, however, hinges on how easy or hard it is to get on the clinical trial. So, can the Minister tell me how many places there will be on the trial? And if he cannot at this current stage, please can he reassure me that he will take very careful consideration of the fact that if the trial is limited in size, this will cause harm to more trans and gender questioning young people?
Secretary of State.
I'm grateful to the honourable member for her question. The trial will be uncapped, and just to reassure her and the House, all NIHR commissioned research must go through robust scientific and ethical approval processes, both of which can influence final study design. So we are absolutely, in terms of the design of this trial, have ethics as an integral part of the approval of the trial.
And the final question, Robin Swan.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and can I thank and welcome the Secretary of State for his statement in regards to both the tone and the approach that he's taken, and I do welcome that this indefinite ban will also include Northern Ireland, and can I thank the Secretary of State and his predecessor for that collaborative approach they've taken with the Minister of Health in Northern Ireland. But also, Madam Deputy Speaker, I think it's important for the House to note that the ban in Northern Ireland was supported by all the Northern Ireland executive parties as well. But can I ask the Secretary of State, in a statement he talks about being able to restrict the supply of puberty blockers through a prescription issued by a prescriber registered outside the United Kingdom, can I ask him what steps he will take to close all those loopholes and avenues would actually allow these drugs to either be prescribed, recommended or supplied by online suppliers for under 18s?
I'm grateful to the honourable member for his question. This is a challenge not just in relation to these drugs, but more generally as well, and it's something that that we are looking very closely at. More broadly, I want to just acknowledge the first part of his question as well. I'm very grateful not just to my counterpart, Mike Nesbitt, in the Northern Ireland Executive, but to the First Minister, the Deputy First Minister, and all parties involved in the Northern Ireland Executive for the collaborative way and the spirit with which they have engaged in discussion about this issue for Northern Ireland, and also their willingness to work in partnership with the UK Government. I think that's to their credit and to the benefit of all citizens across every part of the United Kingdom.
That concludes the statement.
Madam Deputy Speaker, today